Breeze on the beat.
Come on, you scroll past everyone and sign. Laugh it off, call it doing fine. Coffee cold on your crooked desk. World on fire, you just need a rest. You scroll, you blink, cold years to slip. Head down in headlines, hard out of sync, you joke. I'm fine, your coffee's cold. You missed the moment, chasing the goal. To be unaware of the times, presented to the eyes. A mistake you can't afford is a gamble with your life. You say I don't wanna know, but the wave is at your door. To be unaware of the times is a cost you can't ignore. Inbox red, but you mute the sound. Talking big with your head in the clouds. Weather changes while you're turned away. Storms already on your street today. Your mama call, you let it ring. Type, call you later, then change the thing. Your kid just danced in socks on tile. You caught it sideways, forgot to smile. To be unaware of the times, presented to the eyes. A mistake you can't afford is a gamble with your life. You say I don't wanna know, but the wave is at your door. To be unaware of the times is a cost you can't ignore. Look up just once, let it hit you. Let it hit you. Truth hurts, so what? It'll save you before it breaks you. What if this day is all you get? Would you still hurry or taste it? Yeah. You scroll past another headline. Mute the sirens in your head. Change the channel on the chaos. Say you'll deal with it instead someday. Friends are shouting from the shoreline. You still laughing in the tide. Building castles out of deadlines. Like the water's on your side, yeah. Be unaware of the times, presented to the eyes. A mistake you can't afford is a gamble with your life. You say I don't wanna know, but the wave is at your door. To be unaware of the times is a cost you can't ignore. The signs of the times all around you, but you can't see it, huh? Unable to see with your two eyes and a calcified pineal gland. Wake up. This hoe say a hoe. Gonna.
Some say we ain't old shit. Ain't that a bitch? I challenge you to prove us wrong. My ancestors' bones are buried deep in American dirt. The deeper you dig, the longer the timeline gets. I continue to speak through song, but I will not forget to speak through actions. I'm not a believer. For I choose to know, I know where I stand. I know where I'm from and I know where I'm headed. I implore you to know thyself. Cause when you find yourself, you find God. Remember that, remember that, remember that, remember that. Reparations, it'll never be in the mail. Restitution, just another tall tale. Restoration of a kingdom, rebuild the throne. Redemption's the seed we've been sowing on our own. Whistles blow, steel mills moan. Blood in the cotton, ghosts of the past still lurk. Not forgotten, chains on the mind plus chains on the wallet. 40 acres, you mean a nation, they just stalling. Roots run deep where the magnolias lean. Dirt rich soil, but the soul ain't clean. Every lie denies the birthright of the bloodline. Payback overdue, you running out. Reparations, it'll never be in the mail. Restitution, just another tall tale. Restoration of a kingdom, rebuild the throne. Redemption's the seed we've been sowing on our own. Grandmother prayed by the riverside weeping. Sins of their forefathers in the ground still creeping. Fried chicken grease on the stove still popping. Dreams fried crispy, hard truths ain't stopping. Jim Crow shadow still cast long low. Swamp water whisper secrets only we know. Told us to pull up from the booth that we style. How you fix a scorched field with a seam? Reparations, it'll never be in the mail. Restitution, just another tall tale. Restoration of a kingdom, rebuild the throne. Redemption's the seed we've been sowing on our own. Plenty receipts for the pain they inflicted. Plenty receipts for the culture restricted. Took the rhythm, left us the blues, but the rhythm came back, now it's breaking loose. From Delta Dirt to Cahokia streets, we the bricks, we the drumline beats. Copper colored uprise, hands reach for the crown. American justice, aboriginals come around. It'll never be in the mail. Restitution, just another tall tale. Restoration of a kingdom, rebuild the throne. Redemption's the seed we've been sowing on our own. We've been sowing on our own. Far as I'm concerned, all you immigrants and tethers can get the fuck out. Whether you got here in the 1400s or 2026, time to bang on them all. Ay, ay, ay. No excuses, I'm fed up. Bust your head open past the white meat. Crack your cranium, expose your thoughts. Fuck it, take the head off. Packing plenty heat, hearts turn Antarctica. Cold when the night breathe. I seen the fake smiles, you see through. Liar, I seen the dead zone, I don't believe you. Liar, same mouths preach peace is beneath you. Then they feed on the copper tone, but it doesn't fit you. Paris bomb, we smoke signals curling off this page. Nigga, they wanna save lie, I want truth, feel the rage. Nigga, they calling Tartaria like it's myth and dust. Shame, nigga, I read the stone cracks, I don't trust the trust. Lame, nigga, don't know shit past the school and they fed you. You oughta be fed up, yeah, you know I said what. Shut the fuck up. Eyes open, no sleep, too much on the line. They lock up the question and they sell you the line. Enough of the fuck shit, too much rusted steel. I want raw truth to protect the truth. You should be willing to kill. Fed up, we oughta be fed up. Fed up, fed up, we oughta be fed up. Say it to my face, bitch. Don't dress it in a story. Fed up, bitch. We oughta be. They build little boxes, I'm calling out you hoes. Diabolical mindset, your creation made us foes. Taught us what to fear as if you would never know. Why they hit the sunset but I still feel its glow. Every lecture sterile, I don't bow to the filter. Nope. Every lesson chained, I don't vote for this show. Every truth got a price. I seen hunger in the hallway and a borrowed name. Stolen legacy. Where the petty words go, from the gutter to the paper, it's the same damn fight. Keep your hands on the wheel, keep your head on right. If the map got burned and I trace my own, if the gate stays shut, I pull a kick though. Yeah, we came from the pressure, came from the flood, came with soot on the soul and iron in the blood. What they call peace is a padded up cage. What they call safe is a script on the stage. We don't need permission, what the fuck is a chain? We been fed the poison, now we spit back pain. Eyes open, no sleep, too much on the line. They lock up the question and they sell you the line. Enough of the fuck shit, too much rusted steel. I want raw truth to protect the truth. You should be willing to kill. Fed up, we oughta be fed up. Fed up, we oughta be fed up. Say it to my face, bitch. Don't dress it in a story. Fed up, we oughta be fed up. No excuses, I'm fed up. And I mean that plain. No more sweet lies. No more smoking chain. Bang, bang, motherfucker. Bang, bang, motherfucker. The nation may survive its fools, and even bold and proud pretense, but it starts to crack and rust when the lie comes clothed in innocence. You know the enemy at the gate. He comes loud, he comes in sight. He waves his flag in blinding flame and thunders through the night. But the traitor, he slips in near. He learns the lies, he holds them near. He smiles in the room where the secrets sleep, then sells the house and lets us weep. A nation may survive its fools, a nation may survive its pride, but not the hand inside. Tread careful where you trust. Tread careful where you trust. The knife can wear a smile. He moves among was free. Through the halls where power grows. This loud whisper snake down the corridors. Nobody knows. He knows the names we love. He knows the wounds we hide. He feeds on what we feel, then calls it duty, calls it tide. But the traitor, he slips in near. He learns the locks, he holds them near. He smiles in the room where the secrets sleep, then sells the house and lets us weep. A nation may survive its fools. A nation may survive its pride, but not the hand inside. Tread careful where you trust. Tread careful where you trust. The knife can wear a smile. Look to the gate, then look again. The danger is not just outside. It sits at the table, it signs its name and leaves the door ajar inside. Tread careful where you trust. Tread careful where you trust. The knife can wear a smile. A nation may survive its fools. A nation may survive its pride, but not the hand inside. Yeah, let's go. Anybody who will lie to you will sell you a smile for the truth. They clap when you're standing there, then take your chair out from under you. Same hands, different story. Same mouth, different wound. They talk real sweet in the daylight, then leave you cold by noon. I seen them nod like family while they hide a knife in view. If they bend the facts for comfort, they'll break the trust in you. And the part that hurts the worst ain't the cut, it's what they knew. Lie to you, kill you. Lie to you, kill you. Say it plain, don't miss it. Lie to you, kill you. Watch how they dress up poison in a clean white cup. Say it's love, say it's loyalty to your. They want your name in your favor, your time, your open door. The ask for honesty, they act on that war. They borrow your life for prayer, then dim you when they can. Keep a grin on their face, and every promise that they spend comes back short in the end. Lie to you, kill you. Lie to you, kill you. Say it plain, don't miss it, miss it, miss it. Lie to you, yeah, yeah, yeah. I seen the smile turn savage when the mask fell off. Heard the promise sound so holy till the final stone got tossed. So why take the words in the palace lie? Cause I don't just bend the moment, it can bury what you know inside. I learned truth can look lonely, but it keeps your feet on ground. Better a hard, clean answer than a sweet one wrapping you down. So if you bring me fiction, don't call it love, don't call call it ride you, kill you, lie to you, kill you. Say it plain, don't miss it, miss it, miss it, miss it. Lie to you, kill you. I was on the line with FACn, big dog Philly OG and a bunch of youngsters. I was talking too real, too much on my mind. One breath too heavy, then the screen went blind. Somebody said, hold up, then the signal broke. I was missing, then it cut like smoke. I know that look when the room gets quiet, when the truth get loud and the whole thing bites. I ain't even mad, I just laughed out loud. Had the whole car spinning, then they dropped me out. Drop the call, drop the call. I talk too real. Drop the call, drop the call. That was the deal. Firekeeper, firekeeper. Ooh, you know the vibe. Big dog, Philly OG. Still I got cut in real time. Yeah, youngsters on the thread with the notepad up. Everybody trying to learn when the old head talk. I said, listen close, don't chase the crowd. If you don't stand on it, you just end up loud. One tick, two ticks, then my line went dead. Could've sworn I heard my own name said. Now they all rewatching what I left behind. Half the truth was fire and the rest went offline. I know that look when the room gets quiet, when the truth get loud and the whole thing bites. I ain't even mad, I just laughed out loud. Had the whole car spinning, then they dropped me out. Drop the call, drop the call. I talk too real. That was the deal. Firekeeper, firekeeper. Ooh, you know the vibe. Big dog, Philly OG. Still I got cut in real time. Maybe that was mercy, maybe that was grace. Maybe some truths hit hard and need a little space. So I left them with that echo in the air. If you heard me once, you heard me everywhere. I talk too real. That was the deal. Firekeeper, firekeeper. Ooh, you know the vibe. Big dog, Philly OG. Still I got cut in real time. A liar and a thief. You look me in the eye like truth is just a game. You take what you can hold, then hide behind the name. You borrow my trust, then spend it like cash. Shake my hand with a smile, the other hand in the stash. You know what you do, you know what it means. A clean little lie with dirty little schemes. Yeah, you wear it so right, like it never cuts deep. But the promise got weight and you reap what you keep. You want the easy win, unbothered by the sin. When did this begin? Crooked grin. You want the hidden score, what for? Every lie you tell me more. Blood on the floor. A liar is a thief, a thief is a liar. Same breath, same need, same hands, same desire. You take what you want, then you call it love. Liar and a thief, a liar and a thief. You sell me a story, then change the price. Turn my yes to a maybe, turn my warm to ice. You smile for the room, then break what you need. A willing heart to fool is a pocket to bleed. You don't just bend rules, you make them bend till trust is is a door. You know how to trend, yeah, you wear it so right, like it never cuts deep. But the promise got weight, and you reap what you keep. You want the easy win, unbothered by the sin. When did this begin? Crooked grin. You want the hidden score, what for? Every lie you tell me more. Blood on the floor. A liar is a thief. A thief is a liar. Same breath, same knee, same hands, same desire. You take what you want, and you call it love. Liar and a thief. A liar and a thief. One lie opens the gate, one theft takes the rest. You trade my faith away for a cheap little chest. But I see through the glass, I see through the shade. What you built in the dark can be unmade. A liar is a thief. A thief is a liar. Same breath, same knees, same hands, same desire. You take what you want, then you call it love. Liar and a thief. A liar and a thief. As far as I'm concerned, all you immigrants and tethers can get the fuck out. Whether you got here in the 1400s or 2026. Time to bang. No excuses, I'm fed up. Bust your head open past the white meat. Crack your cranium, expose your thoughts. Fuck it, take the head off. Packing plenty heat, hearts turn Antarctica. Cold when the night breathe, I seen the fake smiles you see through. Liar, I seen the dead zone, I don't believe you. Liar, same mouse on the copper tone, but it doesn't fit you. Paris off this. Hey, nigga. They wanna save lie, I want truth, feel the rage. Nigga, I don't trust the trust. Lame, nigga. Don't know shit when they fed you, you oughta be fed up. Yeah, you know I said what. Shut the fuck. Eyes open, no sleep. Too much on, they lock up the question and sell you the line. Enough of fuck shit, too much rust. It's the raw truth, took the truth. You should be willing to give. We oughta be fed up. Fed up. Fed up. We oughta be fed up. Don't dress it in a story. Gotta be. They build little boxes. I'm calling out you hoes. Diabolical mindset, your creation made us foes. Hard to fear as you know. Why they hit the sunset, but I still feel its glow. Every lecture sterile, I don't bow to the filter. Nope. Every lesson chained, I don't vote for this show. Every truth got a price. I seen hunger in the hallway and a borrowed name. Stolen legacy. Where the petty words go, from the gutter to the paper, it's the same damn fight. Keep your hands on the wheel, keep your head on right. If the map got burned, then I trace my own. If the gate stays shut, I pull a kick though. Yeah, we came from the pressure, came from the flood, came with soot on the soul and iron in the blood. What they call peace is a padded up cage. What they call safe is a script on the stage. We don't need permission, what the fuck is a chain? We been fed the poison, now we spit back pain. Eyes open, no sleep, too much on the line. They lock up the question and they sell you the line. Enough of the fuck shit, too much rusted steel. I want raw truth to protect the truth. You should be willing to keep fed up, fed up. We oughta be fed up. Fed up, fed up. We oughta be set up. Say to my face, bitch. Don't dress it in a story. Fed up, fed up. We oughta be fed up. No excuses, I'm fed up. And I mean that plain. No more sweet lies. No more smoking chain. Bang, bang, motherfucker. Bang, bang, motherfucker. fuck the fucker.
You are very brave person. Thank you so much for being honest and for sharing this story with me today. We'll definitely come back to this later. And what are your predictions right now? What are they about? What do you think will happen in the future?
So, to understand the future, we have to use game theory to understand the situation of each nation state. Okay, so let's look at America. What is the source of American power? What is the point of America? And the point of America is to protect the supremacy of the US dollar.
Yeah.
Right? Because everyone now uses the US dollar, and America can print an infinite number of them. So that's the source of American power. The problem with the US dollar is that it's a Ponzi scheme, meaning that the US dollar has no inherent value in itself. It's only valuable if people want it. And unfortunately, right now, because of financial corruption in America, because the American military is too overextended, a lot of nations are choosing to walk away from the US dollar. So look at Japan and China. They are selling more US treasuries. GCC nations were supporting the American economy, were buying US dollars.
Yeah.
But because of this war, they're now forced to sell more US dollars in order to finance their own economies now that they can export oil. What's been happening is that the bond yields for US treasuries have been going up. This is a problem because right now America has $39 trillion in debt. So if the debt yield, the interest rate is 5 to 6%, that means $2 trillion in interest payments alone annually. And you can imagine that over time, this entire Ponzi scheme will collapse. So America has absolutely no choice but to force the world to continue to buy US treasuries. So the only strategy available to America is to use the Mackinder hypothesis and create as much chaos as possible so that the world is forced to go to America to buy energy, weapons. Okay? So imagine a situation like this, where right now in Europe, there's a war going on between Europe and Russia. In East Asia, there's conflict now between China. In the Middle East, the conflict is between Iran versus the United States and Israel. Every one of these nations requires energy, oil, weapons. America is a continental fortress in the hemisphere. Now they have infinite resources. They're able to turn these resources into weapons that they can sell the rest of the world, and the rest of the world is forced to buy US dollars and buy this energy from America. So that's the American strategy moving forward. They have absolutely no choice in the matter because they're addicted to US dollars, require the rest of the world to buy US dollars, so they need to force the rest of the world to buy.
You said that we have big problems in the near future and that the chance of this is high. But Elon Musk recently said that AI can help the US. He also tried problems in the US government before. Now he believes AI will help the US and other Western countries. What do you think about this?
Okay, so let's analyze why America is in decline. And when you analyze why it's in decline, what you recognize is that it's declining for every single reason why empires in the past have declined before. All right, so let's go over the three major reasons why America is in decline. All right, so the major reason. Okay, what does this mean? It means that when an empire arises, it focuses on manufacturing. It focuses on creating real products, weapons, consumer goods. But over time, what an empire does is it offshores its manufacturing to other people, to other nations, to other groups. And it focuses on financial speculation, primarily the idea of usury, okay? Money lending. Why? Because it's a profitable thing to do.
At the start of the game, you can choose any shelter you want, but once you pick a spot, there's no turning back. It's upgrade or D. Defense, stealth, resources. Miss one detail and you're dead in space. Reinforce the walls, or better yet, bolt on an engine and turn this place into a real spaceship. Solar panels for power, turrets to send those aliens back to hell. Upgrades take time, and time is a luxury you don't have. You won't last long alone. Recruit survivors, use their skills, and brace for the aliens. Only a maxed out shelter gives you a fighting chance in space.
The problem is that financialization does not lead to real productive growth. It doesn't lead to real wealth generation. It only looks like money on paper. If you open a restaurant or you open a factory, you're contributing growth to the economy, right?
Yeah.
On average, you could be seeing a return of 2%. But if you take the same money, you put in the stock market, you see a return of 5%. So who's going to do any work, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why this arises is because of the nature of capital. Capital consolidates. Capital monopolizes. And once you monopolize, it's easier for you to make money. And you don't have to do a good job anymore, right? So think of Google and Apple. They spend most of their resources on stock buybacks in order to create this illusion that they're creating more value for stockbrokers. This is all financialization. And the problem with financialization is that it warps the mentality of your population. Before, what was good, what was important is to work hard, contribute to your community, that people took pride in the factory making products and helping the factory become wealthier. Now, what matters is get rich now, right? So that's why people like Andrew Tate are so popular, right? Because he's telling you, hey, if you work hard, you're a sucker. You're a loser. If you follow the rules, if you listen to your boss, you're a loser. You're a moron. What you want to do is get rich and become your own boss, right? And that mentality has taken over young people. And this is a huge problem because it means that it's hard for an empire in decline like America to invest in long-term projects. So AI, absolutely, in theory, AI could make America a much stronger society. It could create real wealth. The problem is, if you look at AI and what's been happening, is that it's basically a Ponzi scheme where there's only a few companies and they all just invest in each other, creating wealth. And even today, no one knows how to make money out of AI. So OpenAI has ChatGPT. People don't appreciate this, but for every new subscriber to ChatGPT, they lose money. ChatGPT is not a profitable model. And no AI expert can tell you how to make money. And the problem is that in Empire Decline, it's all focused on speculation. It's about gambling. It's about getting rich, as opposed to being practical and pragmatic, okay? So that's the idea of financialization. That's the first problem with an empire in decline. Second problem with an empire in decline is the demographic crisis. The idea is that because society is prosperous and it's stable and it's peaceful, people get older. And because they're getting older, they're able to monopolize much of the wealth, status in society, little opportunity for young people. And we're seeing that throughout the Western world today, where the baby boomers are in charge and they refuse to give up power. So think about these US presidents, all baby boomers. You go to Congress and you've got guys like Chuck Grassley, who is a US senator, and he's 93 years old. Can you imagine that? 93 years old, and he is still working as a US senator. He's the fourth person in line to become president of the United States. If Donald Trump dies, it's J.D. Vance. If J.D. Vance dies, it's Mike Johnson. If Mike Johnson dies, it's Chuck Grassley. And so what's happening in the Western world is the baby boomers refuse to retire. So what do young people do? They refuse to work. They refuse to have children. They become indifferent to society. But the next step is for them to fight each other. for a civil war to break out. And this is just historically what's always been true. Okay?
Okay, you mentioned there are three ideas. What's the third one?
Right. And the last and the most important is the idea of elite overproduction. Okay? So this is an idea from a historian named Peter Turchin. He's trying to mathematically model how revolutions happen. And so he looked at the French Revolution, he looked at the fall of the Roman Republic, he looked at many serious events throughout human history. And mathematically, he discovered the main cause of civil war is you have too many elite struggling for too few positions of status, of power, right? So think about how in America, for the longest time, financiers were in charge. But then these past 20 years, you have the tech revolution. So now you have these tech oligarchs like Elon Musk and Peter Thiel and Larry Ellison. And they want to be in charge as well. So what happened was that they came into Washington, D.C. to overthrow the financial elite. And this person, of course, was Donald Trump, who backed Donald Trump in 2024. Peter Thiel, Larry Ellison, and Elon Musk. Because they're trying to overthrow the power of the financial elite and establish the power of the tech oligarchy. And so what's going to happen in America over the next few years is a civil war rising between the old guard, Wall Street, and what Peter Turchin says is that this is the most common explanation for why societies go into decline. Okay? So again, to summarize, there are three major symptoms of a nation in decline where young people refuse to have children and work, and then elite overproduction. Okay? And then everything else is an outgrowth of these problems. For example, immigration legal to the United States. And the answer is young people don't want to work. And so you need to bring in immigrants in order to replenish the workforce. But we know historically, if you do this, if you allow too many immigrants to come into the country, it's going to cause civil chaos.
I'd like to go back to that time. How did you graduate Yale with honors? How was it possible?
This professional 32D capable New York Public Library is something you won't find at Best Buy or any electronics retailer.
So I went to Yale expecting to study math and physics because, you know, look at me, I'm Chinese, right? Okay. So it didn't mean I love math and physics. It's just like I'm Chinese, so I just go study math and physics. So I go into Yale planning to study math and physics. Yeah. But Yale also requires you to study humanities to graduate. So I took English. We're studying Chaucer and Spencer and Milton. And my first semester at Yale, I was completely lost because I came from a public school, whereas most of my classmates came from pretty elite private schools. So there's certain things that they did which I didn't know you were supposed to do. For example, if the teacher assigned you a book to read, you're supposed to go read that book. And I didn't know that. I didn't know you're supposed to actually read the book before you come to class. I thought that the teacher would tell us what the book was about in class. So during the seminar discussion, I didn't say anything. I was completely lost. And things got so bad that my English professor suggested that I don't take this class anymore. She wanted me to like go do something else because she thought I was wasting, her time as well as my time because I was not following what was happening in the class. But by the time in English class that we got to Milton and Shakespeare and the Romantics, Keats and Wordsworth, something snapped in me, okay? Something caught my attention. And I felt a connection to the poetry I was reading, especially Paradise Lost. And I felt that a spark and I became really interested in English. My first semester in English, I only got a C-, which is the worst grade you could possibly get. And then I got an A- in my second semester. And I improved tremendously as a writer. And so I felt as though maybe before I was asleep. And now being at Yale in this seminar, reading Milton woke me up and said, hey, this is who you really are, and for something bigger than all this. So start paying attention, start getting to work, start taking yourself seriously. And so I became a very good student. And that actually made me even more alienated at Yale. Competition was to get approval from professors.
And you got it.
And I got a lot of approval from my professors. In fact, I'm still friends with my professors, with some of my professors. In fact, when I go to Yale, I stay at their house. So they liked me a lot, and we stayed in touch these past 30 years, and we're still good friends.
That's almost impossible to believe. You started with a teacher telling you that you should go back to kindergarten, and you became one of the top students at Yale. That's an incredible story.
I'm trying to make sense of what happened, and there's a theory. If you want to learn, then what's going to happen is you're going to be assigned the hardest life possible, because that's the only way you can truly learn. So learning isn't about reading books. That's part of the process. The real process is to put you in circumstances that really challenge you and force you to thrive or die. And I think that's what happened. I think that I came into this world demanding the most challenging life possible. I always chose the hard path in life because in my heart, I knew that's what will allow me to truly thrive as a person. So that's a theory, but to this solution.
You said AI creates an illusion of wealth, but can governments also use AI to help people?
You know much about computer science?
I know this. It is LLM models.
Okay, all right. So for the sake of your audience, I'm just going to go into some basics about computer
of
science.
course.
All right, okay.
Let's do it.
So the idea of computers is that it engages recursive loops in order to solve problems. The most basic problem it's trying to solve is a math problem, like what is 1 plus 1? Okay? And a computer can do that. Now, when you're able to do it infinitely, right? 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1, you create great things. You're able to do things that humans aren't able to do. The other thing is that if you're able to do 1 plus 1, you're basically able to do every possible computation, including subtraction, multiplication, and so computers are a wonderful thing. But we need to remember, it's about recurring a simple algorithm and repeating it infinitely in order to generate an output that you want. The other thing about computers is that what it's really good at doing is database management. Okay, so you have a lot of database. And there are two things you want to do with this database. The first is you want to sort it, basically organize information in a way that benefits you, and you want to search it, okay? Basically, you want to retrieve information that is important to you. And if you look at most of AI, it's basically this database management. So what's Google? Well, Google is taking this database that is the internet and searching for information that you want. Right, that's Google. But you also look at facial recognition technology. Facial recognition technology is just basically differentiating a billion faces, and then searching for the face that you want. Okay, so and then LLMs, right, large language models, are the same way, where they take the entire possibility and trying to search or create something that you want. When they say that AI will transform society, they don't mean it'll make your life easier, okay? So let's look at Palantir. What is Palantir really trying to do? What it's really trying to do is take all the databases in the world and combine into one database. And then once it has this one database, it can then categorize people into subcategories, right?
Yeah.
There are two ways that I can know how you behave. The first is I look at who your friends are, and then I look at your past behavior, where you spent your money, how you spent your money, okay? Once I have these two crucial pieces of data, who your friends are and what you've done in the past, I can predict your life for the next 50 years, right? And then what I can do is I can take people who are like you, who want to have the same interests, and at age 1, I can predict how that person will behave for the next 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a project of Palantir. That's a project of AI.
Yeah.
To categorize people in a certain way that allows me to predict their behavior, but then allows me to control their behavior. What's called the AI surveillance state or the AI control grid. And that's what AI is.
Maybe some governments could also use AI in good way, for example, for public safety. What do you think about that?
Tile Survive has to be one of the most relaxing and comforting games of 2026. There's no pressure and it's super easy to play. You don't need to stay online all day, and there's no endless grinding either. Just hop in whenever you feel like it. Collect some materials, upgrade campers, go about their lives. With just a few taps, you can slowly build your own little world in the middle of the apocalypse. The whole game feels calm and cozy, perfect for relaxing and passing the time. And the best part, it's completely free. Go download it and start having fun.
Is it possible?
It's absolutely possible. I live in China, and we have an AI surveillance state.
Yeah.
There's digital ID and there's digital C. There are cameras everywhere. And first came to China 30 years ago, everyone would steal everything. So if you left your laptop...
Yeah, we can admit that here is very safety.
Exactly, right? So, like, if you just left your laptop at Starbucks, went to the washroom, it'd be gone like that. Now you can leave your laptop in public because there are cameras everywhere.
Yeah.
And there's facial recognition technology. So if you steal the laptop, the police know who you are. And it's really convenient because let's just say you go to a supermarket. You don't have to use cash anymore. You can just scan your face. The machine deduct money from your account. China is a testament to the power of AI surveillance. But there are problems with this. The problem is that if you look at China 20, 30 years, there's been very little creativity. I've been in China for a long time, and in the 1980s, in 1990s, China was producing great movies. You have Zheng Yimou, you have Chen Kaige, and these were really interesting movies. And it was producing really interesting ideas.
Yeah.
And these past 10 years, China has not been able to produce that many great ideas. If you look at China, it's not in terms of soft power. You have Japan, everyone in the world loves anime. You have Korea, South Korea, and everyone in the world loves K-pop. China is not as vibrant and dynamic as a society as it used to be. And you can make the argument that people are much more unhappy than before. So, for example, isn't it wonderful? You can just use your phone and call a taxi driver, and then he'll take you anywhere.
Or app, yeah.
Right? And it's really cheap too.
Yeah.
Right? But think about the emotional pressure on that taxi driver. His entire world, his entire life is controlled by the algorithm. So if you get a bad review, they deduct your salary.
Yeah.
If you are late, they deduct your salary.
Because of that, I regularly try to give 5 stars.
Exactly. This is ruled by AI. It is heartless. It is without compassion. It is inhumane in many ways. So there are good things like cheap, cab rides and safe streets and convenient purchasing, but there are bad things as well. For example, you lose your soul.
On platforms like YouTube, if you do something wrong, end it.
And let's just say that we do this YouTube video, and for a reason, YouTube accidentally labels it as appropriate. You're completely screwed, right? Because good luck trying to find a person who to complain to. Good luck trying to plead your case. It's impossible. It's all controlled by algorithm. The reason why is it doesn't see us as humans anymore. These people who do AI, their ambition is not to make society much more vibrant, to make human life much more creative. That's what they say. Their entire purpose is to make everyone into a robot. Okay, so let me give you an example of this. For the past 10 years, they've been trying to solve the self-driving car problem. So a lot of these companies, Tesla, Google, they've been trying to introduce a fully automatized car.
Yeah.
They can't solve the problem because there's an edge case. And the edge case is drivers who've lost their jobs who intentionally get into an accident with the self-driving car. You can't solve that problem. It's impossible to map out human intention. So there's one solution to this problem. And the solution is make every car robotic. Make every car self-driving. Take away the steering wheel. And you solve the problem. When you buy a car, it's all electric, it's all digitized. There are cameras everywhere, and there's no steering wheel. So you get in a car, and where it's great if you think about it, because it'll be safer for everyone. There'll be no accidents, but you've lost all agency and you've lost all autonomy, and that's the world we're moving towards, where the thing that they're most afraid of, the AI people are most afraid of, is human agency. So the way to solve this problem is you take it away from people. You don't allow people to drive cars. You don't allow people to make choices. You don't allow people to waste money, right? If you are buying alcohol, they'll program their digital currency to prevent you from buying alcohol. There's nothing you can do about it because everyone's using digital currency.
Today you are a guest on shows like Tucker Carlson, and many people talk about your predictions because they are often very accurate. I want to ask you, did your education and life experience help you see things this way? How do you make these predictions?
So this is only recent, right? It's only in the past 1 year. So let me talk about what happened after Yale. So I came to China as a high school teacher, wanting to reform. And my theory was very simple. China has 1.3 billion people. They don't speak English. I speak English. Therefore, everyone should just obey me. English. That was my theory. So here in China, they speak Chinglish, Chinese English. And for them, that's English. So if you try to teach them like real English, they don't care. So I learned that the hard way. So I floundered through school, and I decided I can't become famous being an educator. So I decided that I'll try to become a journalist. And I was a journalist for a couple of years, but that didn't work out either. Then I tried becoming a documentary filmmaker. That didn't work out either. I tried working for the United Nations in Afghanistan. Didn't work out. And by my late 20s, early 30s, I was a broken man because I had failed everything I tried. And I felt that the world was hopeless. I basically, for 2 years, lived with my parents. I lived in their basement, and I played video games every single day until my parents got sick of me and threw me out. Okay, so they throw me out, and I'm forced to come to China because China is cheap and I speak the language. And every 12 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and then in the evening, I would go and I would get drunk. In the middle of winter, I sleepwalk into a blizzard, and I open the door, okay, and like there's this whiteness, and the wind is whipping at me, and I'm thrown back. And that's a sign from God, which is like, you better start getting your act together. And so I commit to change my life. I needed to reflect on how I got to this point, because I was a very good student at Yale, and 10 years later, I'm a dismal failure. And I reflect, and I recognize that my Yale education was very, very limiting. And there are 3 reasons why. First of all, when you go to a place like Yale, only IQ matters. If you're able to articulate an idea, then you are smart. But all the forms of talent, whether it's musical or physical, doesn't really matter. All that matters is IQ. Second thing is that failure is not an option. You must succeed at all costs. If you don't succeed at Yale, if you graduate from Yale and you don't succeed, Okay, so there's a lot of pressure. Worthy of a Yale education. And the third thing is you don't need to work with anyone. Just based on your talent, you'll be able to succeed on your own terms. And all things. And so I myself to changing my programming. What I wanted to do was step outside of my body and then look inside my mind that allows me to be more free, to be more in control of my life. Now at this point in my life, and this is like my early 30s, I become interested in a theory called neuroplasticity, which is to say that we can always rewire the synapses in our brain to be whoever we wanted, as long as you commit yourself to the right activities. So for 1 year, I decide to do things I've never done before in my life, including comedy. Because the one thing that in my life I was most afraid of was being laughed at. And again, for the longest time, I took myself very, very seriously. But the moment that I made jokes and people laughed at me, I felt they were laughing with me. The feeling of being able to bring joy to the world made me feel extremely happy and edified. I also tried a lot of sports, jiu-jitsu. So I'm not sure if you practice Brazilian jiu-jitsu, but the way they train is very, very strange. Because I did Muay Thai, and in Muay Thai, they teach you technique, right? And they make you practice. But Brazilian jiu-jitsu, you go to the place, and for the entire time, they beat you up. All he does is pap out of you. And at the end of it, your neck is sore, you know. I'm going home from the train itself. This is really stupid. I'm getting beat up in my 30s. And, you know, when I was a teenager in Toronto, I was also getting beaten up. The difference is this, though. The difference is now I'm paying for the privilege of getting beat up in my 30s. But what happened is that through this training, you start to lose a lot of your fear. I also tried skydiving. Don't do that, by the way. Complete waste of money. But I did skydiving. I did parkour. I learned how to sing. I learned the piano. I did everything possible. And I also tried cooking. So when you go to cooking school, you're supposed to make 2 dishes. And you're supposed to present your dish in front of the chef, who will then give you a grade.
Yeah.
And so we make our dishes. And all my classmates, they line up and they're very proud of their accomplishment. And the chef tastes the meal and smiles and says, "Great job." And then the students feel great. It's my turn to present the dish. The chef said, and I'm like, wait a minute here. Wait. This is strange. Are you failing me? Am I gonna fail cooking school? At Yale, the professors don't do that, okay? The professors tell you how great you are. Great, you're gonna go conquer the world. And here in cooking school, they tell you the truth. And I thought that was illegal. You're not supposed to do that as a teacher. And cooking school was a humiliation ritual for me. But then I started to observe my classmates. And there's this one girl in my class, and she's 18 years old. She would get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to do 2 hours of CrossFit. Then she'd bike to her work, and for like 8 hours, would cut vegetables. And then she'd come to cooking school, and then she'd go home and do it again. And I thought to myself, wow, she is so much more impressive than I am. Here's a person who is dedicated, who's passionate, who's committed to her ambition. And why do I think I'm better than her just because I went to Yale? And so I mean that Yale is about making people arrogant. It's not about making them educated. If you really want an education, the best place to learn it is in life. So open your heart, open your eyes, and learn from others. And that 1 year really changed the way I perceived myself and the way I perceived education. And I became much more determined to have an open mind and to look at the world much more objective. These past 4 years, I've been teaching politics in the great books, Plato, Homer, Dante. And I decided to upload my classes to YouTube because I want to generate a international audience. And my wife and I at first, we're very optimistic. We were like, we think that we can hit 5,000 subscribers. That's our goal, 5,000 subscribers. And maybe it'll take some time, maybe it'll take 4 years, but with 5,000 subscribers, I'll be able to help better promote education reform in the world. Today, my YouTube channel has 2.6 million subscribers. So that sort of surprised us. Our goal was 5,000, we hit 2.6 million. But that's how I came to today.
Can we talk about success? I know you've done some research on this topic. Can you share your conclusions with us? What makes people successful in our world?
So if you look at all the studies of people who are successful, there are certain trait habits that they have. They have certain habits that enable them to succeed. Okay? The first habit is self-control or delayed gratification. So the idea is you're willing to put away immediate pleasure for long-term gain. So the famous example of this is something called the marshmallow experiment by Walter Mischel. And Walter Mischel at that time was working at UCLA, this is 1960s, and he asked children who were 5 and 6 to come to his laboratory to talk, to just have a friendly conversation. And then Walter Mischel would say to them, I'm sorry, but I need to go to a meeting for 5 minutes. Could you please wait for me? I'm really sorry. So here, as an apology, I'm going to give you 1 marshmallow. But if you can wait for me to come back and you still have not eaten that marshmallow, I will give you 2 marshmallows. So then he goes away and he comes back and he sees some kids have already eaten that first marshmallow and some kids who have not. Okay, and then what he will do is, what he did was he tracked them for 50 years. And what he found was that those who passed the marshmallow test were more likely to do better in school. They did better on test scores. They were more likely to graduate from university. They were more likely to succeed in their work. They were more likely to get married and have happy marriages. And the group that didn't pass the test was a complete opposite. And that's the idea of self-control. Okay, so the first principle is self-control. Second principle is something called resilience. So there's another Stanford psychologist named Carol Dwight, and she did research into who succeeds. And she came to the conclusion that those who succeed have growth mindset, and those who fail have fixed mindset. Growth mindset is whenever you encounter failure or difficulty, you see it as an opportunity to grow. So you welcome failure.
Yeah.
Those who have a fixed mindset see failure as the worst possible defeat. So they run away from failure. And so if you keep on accepting new challenges, you keep on growing, and therefore you keep on succeeding. Okay, so that's the idea of resilience. And the third principle is the idea of self-reflection. This was introduced to us by a researcher named K. Anders Ericsson. He spent decades looking at which students succeeded. So he was basically looking at violinists. So he did a lot of research in Berlin, and he went to music school there. And kids at age 5 get into this music school. And so he looked at these different groups, and what he recognized is those who most exceeded practice something called deliberate practice. You can practice for as long as you want, but the most important thing, be objective in assessing your weaknesses. Okay, so these are the 3 basic ideas: self-control, resilience, and self-reflection. But if you go deeper, what you recognize is that a lot of this has to do with family. If you come from a good family that's wealthy and well-educated, you're much more likely to have self-control, you're much more likely to be resilient, and you're much likely to engage in self-reflection. So what's the difference? The difference is that if you come from a good family, you are much more likely to receive unconditional love. How deeply were you loved as a child by your parents? How much love did you receive? Because if you receive a lot of love, you're much more likely to love yourself and to love others. And therefore, you're much more likely to engage in self-control, self-reflection, and resilience. But if you didn't receive any love as a child, you hate yourself and you fear yourself. And so you're less likely to succeed.
And do you think IQ score is important for success?
I think IQ is one of the greatest illusions out there. So there's a very famous American writer named Neil Postman, and he wrote a book called The End of Education. And his argument is the only reason why we have tests is so that adults can differentiate between smart kids and dumb kids, meaning that intelligence is something that we just made up in order to justify a hierarchy of power. What would happen if all the adults in the world disappeared today? Can we imagine this world? Well, everyone would be like, oh, well, it'd be Lord of the Flies. All the kids, the teenagers they would starve because they're incompetent. No, what would happen is the kids would all start working together. The dumb kids, the smart kids, they would lose these distinctions. And every kid would do what he or she could in order to build a better society. If you just leave kids alone, if you just trust them, they'll go on and do great things. We know this because in the 19th century, in Hawaii, all these different immigrant groups were brought in to work in plantations in Hawaii. The plantation owners made a purpose of inviting different ethnic groups because they figured, like, if they're from different ethnic groups, they can't work together because they don't speak the same.
Yeah.
So the parents are working in the plantations and the kids are left alone. There's no school. So what do? They create their own language, they create their own society, and they create their own games in order to teach each other.
When I think about a country like Russia, it's very large and it's hard to manage such a big territory. Some people say there are about 140 million people there, and it's difficult to organize work across such a space. But if you use robots instead of people, you could use the whole territory more effectively, grow the economy, and change many things. Why do you think this view is wrong? Or do you think it is actually correct?
Okay, to answer this question, we need to think about the fundamental nature of reality. And if you look at how human society is created, the main pillar is the exploitation of labor. For the longest time, this concept was called slavery, right? So if you go back to the Greeks and you read Aristotle, he tells us that slavery is just a necessary part of life. Never before in human history have we had a society in which everyone had time to be creative. And so Elon Musk and other tech utopian thinkers believe that robotics, AI, digitization will give us this paradise
Yeah.
Why are these the best and most inexpensive shorts I own?
I don't think it's possible. So let me explain why using, okay? So Plato, his book, The Republic, he uses a metaphor to describe human society. So imagine a cave underground. It's dark, no light comes in. And there are prisoners, about 1 million of them, lying to the floor. They can't move. They can't even turn around. They can only stare at a wall. Behind them is a great fire. Around this fire are people. What they do is they take puppets and they project these puppets onto the wall. So the prisoners are seeing shadows on a wall. They believe that the shadows are real, so they start to create civilization around the shadows. They give it names, they create language, they create religion. They even create a priesthood to celebrate these shadows as gods. They create schools in order to teach these shadows to their children. All civilization arises from these shadows. For whatever reason, a prisoner breaks free of his chains. And so he goes outside, and at first he's blinded by the light. But over time, he adapts to this new world of light, and his eyes feast on beauty around him. He thinks it's all divine, and he thinks he's in heaven. And he asks himself, why did I delude myself all this time? So he wants to go back and convince everyone to break off their chains and go into light with him. And so he goes back, and the elite should want to, right? Because if the prisoners break free, then society collapses and nothing can function anymore. Instead, what happens is the prisoners him themselves. Why? Because they're too wedded to this reality, and they don't want to be told that this is all an illusion. So to go back to the Elon Musk argument,
Yeah.
you're gonna have a lot of people, first of all, who will fight against the robots because they're afraid of losing their jobs. They're also afraid of losing their own reality. Right now, what the elite is most afraid of are people sabotaging data centers. Because it's actually very easy to destroy a data center, right? It's all electricity. You can just rig a drone with explosives and go blow up a data center. So people are naturally resistant towards change.
Do you think this trend will continue?
I think that if you have a society in which a lot of men redundant, they lose their livelihood, then they will take up arms. They will start to create violence in order to reclaim their livelihood.
But maybe by the time people understand the risks, it will be too late, and they will not have enough power to change things.
So being a truck driver is one of the most lucrative jobs that a high school dropout can have, right? You don't need a college diploma. You don't need to be educated to be a truck driver. Well, what happens if you make truck driving automated, robotic? These millions of truck drivers would lose their livelihood. Are they going to sit and not do anything?
Of course not.
Right. So it's most likely that they will seek vengeance, that they will try to destroy the robots. And the same thing happened during the Industrial Revolution when you had a lot of craftsmen who made beautiful products by hand. They were proud of the work they did. They also provided good livelihood to their families. And then you had factories come in. You had a lot of work was being mass manufactured. And so these people would go and destroy factories. So you could have a similar situation with AI.
Right. There were people called Luddites. But in the end, they lost their jobs and everything changed.
So the first problem is social resistance. Second problem is we don't actually know if it's possible to create a world of robots.
We just hope.
Yeah, we're just hoping. But there has not been enough evidence to suggest that this AI robotic vision is possible?
The first was social. Social will something do with this problem because they will lose their jobs.
Yes.
And you said here is something else.
Yeah, so right now, if you look at development of AI, it's very hard to move AI from the digital world into the real world. I'm just thinking as an industrialist, right? I'm using game theory. I'm asking, and so I need to mass manufacture robots.
Yeah.
To make robots, I need a lot of crucial ingredients: silicon, rare earths, lithium. And right now, there's a war going on. It's harder and harder for me to source a lot of this material. I'm also unsure the profitability of robots. I'm not sure how much it'll cost to produce. I'm not sure if they'll work. I'm not sure if people will buy them. So, but now, is there another way to solve this problem? And a possibility, which I think is much more cost effective, is to turn humans into robots. So, and all the ingredients are in place, right? So you have in the world something called the gig economy, where people are Uber drivers, where people are working part-time as janitors, basically labor on demand. And they're all controlled by the algorithm, right? We just discussed this.
Yeah.
You also have millions, hundreds of millions of immigrants who want to come into these Western societies to work. Because in the future, if you're in Africa, it's possible there's a famine.
Famine?
Yeah, in famine. You could have a famine in Africa in the next 5 years. Yes. What people don't appreciate is that the Earth itself, the planet itself, can only sustain about 2 billion people. So the way we've solved this problem is by inventing fertilizer. And about a third of the world's fertilizer is transported through the Strait of Hormuz. The Strait of Hormuz has been closed down for the past 2 months. It's planting season right now. So a lot of places can't grow food. We don't know about the consequences now, but wait 6 months. And you're going to hear lots of reports of food shortages around the world, especially in Africa, which is dependent on fertilizer in order to grow crops. So we are moving into a time of tremendous flux, of tremendous volatility. You're going to have a lot of people who will be desperate just for food. So you can turn them into cheap labor, right? And then the last element is your mobile phone. Your mobile phone has become, in many ways, your best friend.
Yeah.
Or your alter ego. You spend so much time on the mobile phone. Now, let me ask you this question. Is there really a difference between a mobile phone and a microchip inside your brain?
You can drop out your phone. Microchip.
Well,
Here's
that's a
the
good
problem.
point. But, you know, a lot of workers cannot leave behind the mobile phone. If you're a Uber driver, your mobile phone is attached to you because your mobile phone is...
You will now have a job and food.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You also have people working in the AI industry, right, who label training data around the world. They're also married to their phones. So you have cheap labor that's desperate for work. You have microchip technology that you can implant into a person to control how this person behaves. And then you have mass demand in Western Asian societies. So all the ingredients are in place. So why not just turn humans into robots, which is cheaper than actually create robots to replace humans?
And it's true that some companies now reducing their use of AI because it is very expensive. They lose a lot of money, sometimes millions of dollars, and some companies even tell their workers not to use AI because of the cost. But maybe in the short term, it could become cheaper than it's now. Do you think that is possible?
So, the reason why consumer good products have becoming cheaper over the past 20 years is globalization, right? It's just cheaper for you to
Yeah.
source materials from around the world. But in a time of war, in a time of conflict, in a time of deglobalization, in theory, the cost of robots can only go up. But the cost of humans can only go down because you have hundreds of millions of refugees from Africa, from Asia, who are desperate for food. So aren't you better off turning humans into robots than mass manufacturing robots, not being able to control the cost of critical minerals?
So now, because of crisis, economic instability and wars, it may be difficult to make it cheaper in the short term.
Look at inflation, right? Look at how energy prices are going up,
Yeah.
right? So you look at, for example, data centers in America. They consume a tremendous amount of energy. They consume a tremendous amount of fresh water. And they don't really provide a tangible benefit to society. So I'm not sure how far you can take the AI dream.
Okay, you said that it would be better to have about 2 billion people on Earth.
If you want to understand how things work, especially these days, this game is for you. You're not just playing, you're actually learning how to build simple circuits.
Do you think we will face demographic problems in the near future? Will the population keep going down?
I think over the next 50 years, it is entirely possible that 90% of humanity dies off. Because we can imagine that these wars that are being fought around the world right now, they will only expand. I don't see them stopping. I only see them expanding and increasing. But also, because of these wars, it's harder to get resources to the rest of the world. You're going to have a lot of famine throughout the world. We're also seeing a lot of changes to the weather. And it's possible that we will have some environmental catastrophes over the next 10, 20 years. That's going to put at a strain on global supply of food. And if that were to happen, then wars will break up everywhere because people are fighting for precious resources. Historically, we humans have fought over resources. Historically, we lived in a time of scarcity, in a time of war, in a time of conflict. And we believed that we have left all that behind. And unfortunately, what's going to happen is history is going to have its revenge. And it's going to be brutal because the entire world right now is off balance. We are living too well, too prosperous, and we've mortgaged the future. And so I see only tragedy and conflict.
Guy, I'm 25 and I have many friends and family. I think about my future and their future. Honestly, I care about people and about humanity in general. So, what advice would you give our viewers today, and how can they stay safe and succeed in life in today's world?
So I'll give you two pieces of advice. Okay, the first piece of advice is reclaim your attention. Is always trust your gut, always trust your intuition. The most valuable commodity in the world is attention. What the greatest act of rebellion that you can make is to say, I want to reclaim my attention. Meaning I turn off the computer. Meaning I take long walks by myself and just think about who I am and what I want. Read books. Talk to friends. Focus. When you do that, you could forever transform the world. Transform yourself, you transform the world. My second piece of advice is always trust your intuition. We all came here for a purpose. We can only know our purpose by listening to our instincts, which tells us if you're happy or you're not happy. We're all here to learn. We're all here to love. We're all here to grow. You have to ignore the noise. You have to let go of your fear. You have to trust your instinct and do whatever you think is not to do that. Whether it's your parent or your teacher or your friend, they don't have your best interest at heart. 10 years ago, I was broke. I had no money. I didn't have a job. I didn't have any money in my bank account. I didn't have a place to stay. At that time in my history, I've basically given up on life. But there was a part of me that wanted love. I aspire to love. And magically, out of nowhere, an angel came into my life who is now my wife. I told her, if you want to be with me, it is possible that we'll be poor forever. It's possible that we'll just have to struggle through life. We'll be in pain throughout our life. And she said, I don't care because I love you. We had a child together. Now we have 3 children together. And so don't think with your brain. Don't plan. Don't say, job, I need to make this much money. I need to be in this place. Dream with your heart. Look for love. And the universe will provide for you. Because when I met my wife and we married and we had our children, we didn't have a plan. I had no idea at that time that YouTube channel and it would have over subscribers. I didn't know this. If your heart is in the right place, if you have the true will and desire, then the universe or God, whatever entity you believe in, will answer you and provide for you. Have faith in yourself and seek love, meaning, and purpose in your life.
Water systems in more states.
Water and wastewater utilities in as many as a dozen states, in addition to those initial 7 that we've already talked about.
What's up, guys? Everybody's arguing over politics. Everybody's trending on X. Meanwhile, somebody's probing America's critical infrastructure. Not Facebook, even though everybody thinks that's critical infrastructure. Not TikTok. Your water, okay? The FBI after cyber incidents involving municipal water and wastewater systems across multiple states. Now, before everybody starts screaming, Iran did it. Hold on. Let's actually think for a minute. First off, do you trust anything this gentleman says right here? I don't. Anyway, FBI warning 12 states, okay? Federal officials have said they're investigating possible Iranian involvement. Maybe they're right. And I just question when they say Iranian, do they mean just putting that out there? Maybe they're right, maybe they're wrong. I don't know. Neither do you. When I was growing up, every movie villain was a Soviet. Ivan Drago, right? Every one of them, every movie you saw. Then it was Al-Qaeda, then ISIS, and then Russia. Now, apparently, Iran is hiding behind every Wi-Fi router in America. They're the new villain right now, probably because we're in the most massive upset with Americans with this war. They're tired of filling up their gas tanks costing $100. They're tired of their grocery bill skyrocketing, their insurance and everything else. They're tired of all these things. So it's a very unpopular war. So it could be the best time to have a cyber attack with America to maybe get everybody on board. Could it be Iran? Sure. Could it be somebody that make it look like Iran? Very possible. I'm also not trying to pretend I know something I don't. What I do know is somebody is testing America's infrastructure, and that's care about. It really is.
Now been targeted in a growing wave of cyber attacks on critical water infrastructure across the country. Federal officials are reportedly investigating Iran as the likely culprit. Liz.
So what we do know is that they're reporting cyber incidents affecting water and wastewater systems in at least 12 states. Okay. Some have been publicly identified. They include Michigan, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Georgia, California, South Dakota. Minnesota appears to have seen one of the larger incidents reportedly affecting dozens of municipal facilities. That's also ironic because of that location, and they kind of pushed back with the Trump administration. Anyway, some utilities had to switch to manual operations, okay? In some places, there was precautionary boil water notices that were issued. Officials have also said that they have not reported widespread contamination of drinking water. So that doesn't mean to panic, but it also doesn't mean to ignore it either. Think about it this way. If somebody walks around your house at 2 a.m, checking every window, trying every door, you don't wait until they're standing in your bedroom before admitting you got maybe a security problem. The guy testing the lock is part of the attack. Right on? Let's connect some dots, because this is what I like to do. It's where preparedness comes in. People think preparedness is buying another gadget, another knife, chest rig. No. Preparedness starts with understanding where modern society is fragile. If you look around, power grids, comms, supply chains, border security, water. And the thing is do we even know, just talking about the border for a second, do we know if the border's even actually secure right now? I don't know, because we haven't seen anything about it. Hadn't been in the headlines, hadn't talked about it. We just hear that it's solved. But I've also heard from other people that the border's just as wide open as it was during Biden. They're just not reporting it. They're controlling the information flow. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but that is what I'm hearing from many sources. So, could be a problem. Another thing is, when you look at water, food, financial systems, think about it. AI. Every week, another piece of critical infrastructure is suddenly in the headlines. Individually, they're all just news stories, but together, they paint a worrisome picture. It's almost like America has become one giant smart home. Everything can be updated remotely. Fantastic, until your water treatment plant gets the digital version of, have you tried turning it off and on? It's funny until it's in your town. Now, here's the part nobody's talking about. While we're being told infrastructure is vulnerable, we're also facing a race war with the AI-driven future. Apparently, from what I've read today, China actually is dominating this. Okay? Now, but what we do know is that now it's crazy, man. The Trumps are some good businessmen. They are innovators. They really are. Because as soon as we started, right before the war with Iran, Eric and Don Jr. started a drone company. And just so happened they got to deal with the Pentagon. Wow. Barron Trump knew when to swap out stocks when the war was hot and when it was cold. I mean, they have intuition like I've never seen, these guys. Now we have Skynet being formed right before our eyes. Eric Trump is working with Foundation Future Industries. We're talking military humanoid robots. What? Man, I didn't even know Eric Trump was in that game. Apparently is. They're in all the games that have Pentagon-backed contracts, apparently. These guys are geniuses, aren't they? They have intuition like no other. Plans of armed humanoid robots spark. Man, have these boys not watched Terminator? I mean, for real. Have these boys not watched Terminator? We're going to come for you, dissidents. And what happens when the robots start building themselves? Skynet, Terminator, bro, John Connor. Have they not watched the movies? They're talking about armed humanoid robots, massive AI expansion, huge data centers. And then we got none other than, it's just crazy how this works out. And it's funny to me that people just don't see the writing on the wall. Darlene Graham. Oh, Darlene her brother just died. She got nominated by Government Master. Oh, it's just like a legacy piece, oh, let's do this to, commemorate Lindsay's service, put a sister in. Then Trump says, oh, I back you to run for full Senate seat. And she says, oh, I am. Hadn't even put her brother in the ground yet. She's in this, right? Comes on here. I think we need to build data centers here, and I think the tech companies should build the power plants to supply the data centers because that way it doesn't drive up utility costs for average Americans or the average South Carolinian. Now, the Democrats, of course, the evil Democrats, they don't want the data centers because you know why? Because they don't like the noise of the data centers, but we have to remain competitive against China. Democrats don't like the noise of the data centers. They're trying to put them in like neighborhoods. Nothing's wrong with that, right? I mean, you've seen the 6G, right? Where they can basically, it's like the Matrix. Like they can see three-dimensional inside homes through walls, see your movements. Man, this stuff is getting so far out there. You can't even tell what's real and what's fake anymore. But of course, we got to stay competitive in the game. Obviously, America absolutely needs to stay technologically competitive. Is who's protecting infrastructure and that all of this depends on, because AI doesn't run on hopes and dreams. It runs on electricity, fiber, tons of water, cooling, servers, data centers. Every one of those becomes another critical node. And do you trust these boys actually protecting us like the DOJ and etc. on the home front? No. Right? And building more of it. Again, maybe some of that's necessary, guys, but conservatives used to be the people saying, slow down, let's ask some questions. Now, some of the loudest voices are saying, build faster, more AI, more automation, more digital dependence, more robots, more drones. It's funny how every side, Democrat, Republic, blue, green, whatever, becomes comfortable with massive technological expansion and massive surveillance. It's just funny. All of them do. As long as their team is the one holding the steering wheel, that's just a fact. As long as their team's the one that's doing it, they're cool with it. Some may call this progress. Maybe it's absolutely necessary. I don't know. I'm just a dumb redneck. Or maybe it's a Trojan horse. History is full of things that were sold as convenience that quietly became dependence. I'm not outright telling you to reject technology, but I'm telling you not to be completely dependent of it. That's the difference. Now, whether this investigation ultimately points to Iran or somebody else, and if it was somebody else, they wouldn't tell us, the lesson doesn't change. Vulnerability is real. The systems we depend on every single day, water, power, comms, are worth thinking about before there is a crisis. That's why I keep talking about becoming harder to kill, not just physically, but building resilience into your life. Have stored water, know how to purify water, have backup power if you can. Think through your family's plan before you need one, because if all of this turns out to be nothing great, you still end up more prepared. And if it's the beginning of a trend, you'll be glad you didn't wait for permission from the evening news, from cake face Jesse Waters. Anyway, guys, remember to stay frosty, stay strapped, stay dangerous. I'll see you in the next one. Black Scout out.
They're willing to spend that much money for a single seat in a Senate? Wow. Buying all of our politicians, huh? But we're also going to take a look at Haley and see maybe why she may have lost outside of that as well. Now, regardless of what you feel about Abdul and his actual politics, it doesn't really matter because this is who he was running against. Yes, BlackRock, APAC, Comcast, Ford Motors, and a host of other corporate interests that poured tens of millions of dollars into their campaign. And at this point in America, I don't really care what side you're on, right, left, center, independent, as long as you are standing up against foreign interest and corporate lobbying. But let's take a little trip down memory lane to see some of Haley Steve's videos. Yes, you have absolutely classics like this one.
I am going to be working on our behalf. I am going to be telling the stories on our behalf. And you better believe I'm going to be doing it with a little bit of joy, a little bit of enthusiasm, a little bit of energy, and a little bit of sick it to them. Because that's the Michigan way.
First off, I am 35 years old. I am divorced, and I live in a van down by the river.
I mean, my God, how could anybody not want to vote for a candidate like that? $1 million from, oh, shocker to see her lose, huh? Here's another one from back in the COVID era.
Of their servitude, sharing in the profession with those who have not come before you. Similar times of trying medical need, wars and flus pass. You will see darkness, you will be pushed, and our society needs you to stand together at this time. Our country loves you. To our doctors and our nurses, I wear these laces.
The gentlelady's time has expired. The from Maryland is records.
All right, absolute classic like this one.
I will continue to fight for the people of Israel. I will continue to fight for Israel's existence. Israel comes to me in my dreams. I see Israel's future, and I know that Israel will continue to exist for the Jewish people.
Wow, yeah, I can kind of see now why they were willing to spend $50 million to try to keep her in power, huh? Okay. Yeah, you love to hear that from American politicians, highly focused on the betterment of a foreign country across the world, not their own communities. Isn't that interesting, huh? Now, the meltdown reaction from MAGA and the Zionists is also one of the other funniest things ever. Let's look at Donald Trump's response to Abdul winning the primary. Yes, Trump says, great news for the Republican Party. Yeah, probably not when AIPAC's getting blown out there, bud. El Said, a communist loser who hates the Jays and Israel, is projected winner of his race with the socialist. I'm not sure what that means. As usual, the polls were way off on this one. She was not expected to do nearly as well as she did. Now the Democrats' crazy policies will only get worse. Oh. So Trump is saying that Haley's not supposed to do as well. He lost. Is that why they put $70 million into the race? Because they thought she was going to lose? Not sure about that one. But yes, the utter meltdown. Now, is this true? I mean, this is the new talking point. We all know it, right? To the McCarthy area of Islamophobia. Ooh, right? Abdul's rhetoric actually.
AIPAC and Israel are not the same as Judaism and the Jewish people. Judaism, and I love Jewish people. I venerate Judaism, and I venerate the Jewish people. Judaism, and I stand with the Jewish people. And the single most dangerous thing that they've tried to tell us is that somehow they can extend the definition of anti-Semitism to include a foreign government and its leaders. I call bullshit. No.
Wow, that's like the most common sense take ever that Liv agrees with. But of course, no, that's not the way they're painting him, right? Again, I don't necessarily agree with his politics, but I am, guys, pretty much a single issue voter right now, especially after the Thomas Massey race. If you run on a platform of pro-America, anti-our greatest ally lobbying, then I'm with you. That's about it. That's, I think, the single most important issue in American politics we have to get rid of right now. And this sets such a good precedent, especially coming off the back of the Thomas Massey loss, where AIPAC, they could just step any congressional seat that they want. And this race showed that no, even when you spend almost $100 million, you can potentially still get your ass kicked if you're an AIPAC candidate. And we're actually seeing some downward effects of that is quite a few APAC donations, because I think the country is seeing the writing on the wall now. Now, let's look at the Fox News crash outs, baby.
Official Abdul El-Sayed won, and here come the meltdowns.
His policy beliefs, they are dark, they are scary. El-Sayed is vowing to eliminate private health insurance in favor of a single-payer system. El-Sayed wants to abolish ICE, reduce military spending.
I learned from the young voters who are for Haley Stevens.
Looking at Che Guevara, this is literally a communist takeover of the Democrat Party.
A man named Abdul Al-Sayed is about to become the first Muslim socialist ever nominated.
Oh no, Abdul Al-Sayed, whoa.
Nominated for the United States Senate in Michigan. And does he kind of look like somebody you might be familiar with? Maybe that other socialist
racist.
He's smiling, the one in New York City.
Not in the slightest, you racist fuck. But a common theme of the election coverage had to do with Abdul's criticism of Israel.
At its core, a platform of obsessive dislike of Israel. El-Sayed seems to bring up Israel.
And the Democratic Party is making clear they want nothing to do with anybody who supports the fact that our ally is Israel.
Yeah, that's the way the entire fucking nation feels right now outside of these Fox News boomers. Didn't seem to figure that out, because remember, just like a week ago, almost 100% of the congressmen in the House voted to merge, outside of like 6 of them, our military with Israel, which would clear Arkansas. That one the fuck out. This is a great wake-up call going into the midterms. We want to see this. We want to see APAC candidates spend $70 million just to get blown out of the water. I don't care if it's independence, right? This is good news for the country. And again, this is setting a pretty big precedent, because it wasn't just the APAC lady that got torched last night. We also had Sri Thanadar get blown out in the Michigan primary, as well as, APAC candidate. Huh.
I am the center of this. The only emperor of the galaxy.
And why might that be? Why is this becoming a theme? I don't know. Let's take a look.
Hi, this is Congressman Sri Thanadar, proudly representing Detroit and the Michigan's 13th district in Israel. Learn about this little country that is surrounded by terrorism and how it's important that United States and Israel must have a strong relationship.
Yes, it turns out that message is no longer resonating with the American people, huh? Whoa, crazy. And here's another one, Pat Ryan, asked by APAC. Thank you, Representative Ryan. Will you now dump APAC? And he says, yes, don't want their endorsement and returning the funds. Yes, now what this is the initial signs of is politicians, and they are politicians, understanding that being an APAC-funded candidate has now become a massive liability to your potential political success. Now, this isn't going to solve the problem, because they're crafty and they're going to now start donating money in different ways, using different PACs and a lot of different techniques. But it is a good demonstration that American politicians, who are a mile behind the American people when it comes to this issue, are starting to wake up and realize that, well, if you put their careers at jeopardy, they all listen to the American people. Interesting. And everybody on the internet is talking about this right now. Things like this. It says, would be the single biggest electoral blow to the Israel lobby in history. By 1 vote or 1 million, this would be historic. And it is actually very, very historic, and again, very, very important in moving forward for both political parties, both the right and the left. Again, Republicans are a mile behind when it comes to shoring up and fixing this issue, but this initial demonstration of, again, an APAC candidate fundraising more money than we've ever seen. I mean, this is twice as much as they spent on the Massey race, then losing to someone who, again, you outfunded by 10x. Ooh, it shows the American people are officially done with all of this. All right, so again, good news. Can't wait to see Mark Levine, Laura Loomer, and all of the other Zios crash out as they continue to further lose their grip on America. Love to see it. So it's going to do it for this one. And man, this is going to be very interesting heading into the midterms to see how these politicians all pivot around this and see if we see a change of heart and how they feel again about our greatest allies' support. So that's going to do it for this one. Catch y'all in the next video.
Well, this will help you get started. It's a knock box or a next of kin box. It's a system.
Guys, what's going on? My name is Louis, and God bless to you. So we have big breaking news coming out of North Carolina. Multiple people have passed in a mass event in secluded North Carolina neighborhood. My condolences and prayers goes to the families and friends that lost their loved ones. This happened early this morning, 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And it looks like a peaceful neighborhood. Multiple have passed. Alright, so once again, please send prayers to the families and friends. And let's see what's going on with this news here. So multiple were out Wednesday morning in a mass event at a home in quiet North Carolina community. Authorities confirmed, according to a report from the Daily Mail, GUN fire erupted around 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time at a residence in Prospect Hill, a secluded neighborhood in Caswell County, roughly outside Greensboro. Deputies from the Caswell County Sheriff Office and troopers from the North Carolina State Highway Patrol rushed to the scene. On Brooks Road, the North Carolina State Bureau of Investigation later confirmed that several had been out, but offered no further details at the time. One individual was transported to Duke University Hospital with a GUN shot wound, while multiple others were pronounced gone at a location. But man, this guys, I totally apologize. I'm not saying certain words here because the platform is really strict when it comes to this story. But man, this is very disturbing. This is absolutely disturbing, man. Beautiful, peaceful neighborhood. Seeing stuff like this. You have police stated that there was no ongoing threat to the small community and described the event as an isolated incident. Investigators from the Caswell Sheriff Office, State Highway, and the State Bureau of Investigation were seen gathered outside the home as the probe began. Man. No victims have been publicly identified, and authorities released no information about a possible suspect.
Once we become aware of what Israel does in the world, it becomes very hard to understand them. Bombing cities to rubble.
All right, watch this. Hear that? That's my wallet. So this is what most wallets still look like. Thick, overstuffed.
Are asking for your help tonight with a homicide investigation.
Got shot at 12 gauge, bang.
That's how you lost your leg?
Yeah, that's how I lost my leg.
Oh. So I noticed your tattoos.
Oh yeah. My tattoos, they represent a lifestyle that I've been in since I was a kid.
So these little kids are gangbanging.
That's what they be saying.
There's not a bad child. There's one that just hasn't been reached.
What's happening around here?
Not much, a lot of killings, I guess. A young boy shot himself a day ago.
The road Dakota Sioux. The people multiple fronts. They are quickly isolated. There are little to no jobs. There's crushing poverty, and there's an addiction epidemic where local law enforcement estimates that over 60% of the population is hooked on meth, alcohol, or both. On top of that, they face an urgent fight to preserve their culture that has almost been erased. But folks, if you know anything about the Lakota, you know that historically they've proven themselves to be incredibly tough. After all, they faced the full might of the U.S. survived extreme brutality, broken treaties, and against all odds. We take you where few cameras have ever been. You'll see inside the sacred ceremonies, witness the daily struggles, and hear the stories of those fighting for a better future. Folks, we're in the land that the natives would refer to the Great Plains, and we're on our way to the Rosebud Reservation in South Dakota. Now, two words come up when I've researched this place: rough and resilient. Rough because of the treatment of the U.S. government for Central Group, rough because of the job and the living conditions, but resilient because there's people here actively in their community and retain the culture that made them great in the first place. So we're going to dive into this, we're going to check it out, and we're going to bring you into the Rosebud Reservation. Gang culture has impacted this area, and look no further than this. So let's see how many times we see evidence. So look, OTF, that's Little Dirk's rap squad. One house right here, boom. I see this house, OTF, here. And then look again, here. It's just pretty crazy how much a little town in South Dakota, the kids idolize Chicago gangster rappers. What's happening?
A lot of killings. A young boy shot himself a day ago. And I don't know why he did it. He's a dad. He was from St. Francis, probably 19, 20. A lot of negativity around here. And we need more things for the kids to do around here. There's really nothing here. And that's kind of got everybody in the mood to doing what they're doing, drinking, drugs.
Notice your tattoos.
Oh yeah. My tattoos, they represent a lifestyle that I've been in since I was a kid. Never had a family, like close family. So I looked to the streets, and this is where I came and I found my purpose.
Can you break down the gangs? Who runs what?
The GDs, the higher numbers, and the Crips, Southsiders, and some TBZ cats.
Which TBZ used to be one of the more powerful gangs, right?
Yeah, over in Pine Ridge. That type of way. Some people don't have structure, and the older ones teach them about the right way and effective way of doing things, like
gangbang.
Yeah.
It seems like a lot of these kids are being raised by their grandparents.
Oh yeah. The younger kids and the babies are getting raised by the grandparents because the mother or the father, or they're drinking, they don't look at they should be looking and supporting them.
So it's really a combination of a lot of parents not stepping up, but then also having an overwhelming addiction that takes me out of the picture.
The best, but I'm here. I've been shot, I've been stabbed, and I've been in and out of jail, and I got misdirected.
What's your plan going forward?
I just want to do more positive things in my helped around in this community, Lower Swift Bear, Horse Creek, around here in this White River town I've helped.
So we're outside a soup kitchen. It's about to open up. We got somebody, Laquita, who invited us here. Food kitchens are picking up. I mean, when I drive around Milwaukee, there's lines around the corner, and the need for it is heightened. And especially in an area like this, to see what they got in the menu, what they're serving people, and how people are. Nice to meet you, Tommy. How are you?
So all these buildings are ours, obviously. This is our called a warm welcome, but it's our soup kitchen. You guys can come back here.
What are some cheeseburgers?
Yeah, cheeseburgers, cookout food, basically.
You've been doing this for 3 years, you said?
No, I've been volunteering since the first year that I'm actually getting paid for it. My dream, one thing I really want to do in this life is start and run my own nonprofit. I kind of started to shadow the director and see the ins and outs of it, so I know a lot more with their social interactions. I want to focus on that. Rehabilitation programs where it's less judgmental and obviously still stuff like the soup kitchen and everything.
I'm Charles.
Nice to meet you. Tell me a little bit about what drives you every day.
I've been so much around here these days anymore, and I'm happy to be able to be a part of it.
How many people do you serve on a weekly basis?
We go up to 100 people a day, so 400 people a week, and that's off of donations and stuff like that.
How far are we from the nearest Walmart?
Hour and a half.
So Laquita, how old are you?
I'm 21.
And how is dating around here?
I don't date around here.
No?
So this is it's open from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. We sell things from like hygiene bags, they got shirts, you got all the clothes, but we also have things like blankets, we have mattresses we sell, we get a lot of stuff from Amazon. For the most part, boxes will be open and stuff, but if something intrigues you, how it looks on the outside, you will sometimes have to grab it and look around about what it really is. And it's just a bunch of random, there's one, everything very affordable. Like people could even buy it with a bunch of, I say like helpful.
So good selection, because I understand some people have to drive far away if they want to get this anywhere else.
Yeah.
You can do this. You can be the first millennial in history.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. So we are a nonprofit organization. We have our soup kitchen, we have our thrift shop. We also have a food pantry across the road. We emergency home repairs all communities.
What kind of jobs are available here? If I moved here and wanted to get hired, how good are my chances to get something?
Well, you are in a reservation, right? We have our tribal facility that, you know, is there. The school districts, the food, we have Boost Food Center, like the dollar store, a few businesses in town, the bank. So those provide opportunity for work. Our reservations spread out into communities. So it's hard for people without transportation, struggle for our people here.
What is the access to healthcare around here?
And then right now, like our women with children, they have to deliver elsewhere because we don't have the facilities to accommodate their needs. Right now it'd be Valentine, that's about 32 miles.
The Rosebud Reservation has some of the highest poverty rates you'll find in the country, and local reports put the joblessness rate at over 80% of the adult population. The Lakota have a gigantic, incredibly remote and isolated. The nearest major airport is over 200 miles away, and if someone wants to get basic groceries at Walmart or go give birth at a hospital, it is a 2 or 3 hour drive. The vast majority of jobs are government jobs. Officer or jail guard, there's really not much here. You see money off the reservation, and this creates a cycle where money is constantly flowing away from Rosebud, and you're left with an economy where most people live in deep poverty. So we're meeting up with our next guy in the town of Parmalee. Population 562. And let's see what he has to show. Come on, brother.
I'm already, so.
Good to meet you. What are you going on over here?
So, we did this. This is the addition we did. This is the early head start.
How long for? And before this, you were in the Army?
Yeah. So we did everything, the wiring, the sheetrock. We just put these in today. Now we're just painting it. We had to put a cross beam in here, and then this beam, we had to put this in so that way the support is coming along.
How long were you in the military for?
I was in the Army for 7.5 years.
What'd you think of it?
It was fun. Honestly, it was probably an experience that most kids at such an early age should probably go out and do, because it teaches you how to live on your own. It teaches you how to be independent. Know what it's like to be in the place like this. It's just so easy to get sucked into drugs and alcohol around here, and gangs and violence, and that's what a lot of people kind of resort to. Then when they don't go, when they find themselves in a bad spot, lead to taking their own lives.
What's the housing setup like? Do people own their houses? Are they renting these houses?
So a lot of them are SWA houses, which is kind of like our housing that we have around here. It's whatever you want to get on the list, you go through them.
Cost of living here. What cost
so like
rent
those ones are like for like the old people. Like this one, I think is like 500. And it all depends on what you got, because they got them like this. They got.
That's not where Savannah Standing Bear's family is it? I saw in the.
Yeah, that's where they live. That's our convenience store. That little thingy.
When?
We can, yeah.
Hello.
Most of these people don't got a working vehicle. The closest town they'd have to go to is Rosebud or Mission to get their groceries.
So this is just a resident live a healthy life, just given the selection you got. But I've been reading some studies recently that said that this is all consumer choice. Like, people want to make money. So if there was healthy food that was flying off the shelf, of course it would be stocked, which is harder for me to wrap my head around. Like, the CIA is winning some snack right here, blue Takis. This is just how people are living, how people are surviving here. Oh, look. I wanted to draw over a year now. Holy shit.
It's pretty scary. Some res mutts.
Tom, just looking at the $5,000 reward.
Yeah.
Savannah standing back.
It's 10 miles up that dirt road. Outside the screen door, camera, talking to someone 6 in the morning. Dark. Goes out the door talking to somebody, comes down a couple times. 2 miles is school, just to the west of her phone last pinged. You can see it turn off. Hedog School, farmer's field. Her phone pings there and goes dead. That's where we started 15 months ago. Nothing.
Do you have any leads? You think you know
we had all kinds of leads. We're still looking.
What keeps you going?
Me, because she wouldn't give up on me. Sometimes I hear her. They make fun of me for keep going, but that's my baby, you know. Yep.
You haven't seen the sun in days. So at this point, it'd be easier to just...
Why do you think so many people go missing around here?
I'm not saying every situation has to do with drugs, you know, stuff like that.
That's a conspiracy I've heard on native reservations that a lot of them think that there's really involvement from the cartel. Would you say that's a verified thing or is that a conspiracy?
You guys may pass them every now and then, and they just use this as a way to get their drugs out. Like I said, people would either fall to drugs or they'll fall to alcoholism and then they end up in poverty. This is our tribal headquarters, this valley. Now this is where like a lot of the drugs and stuff go on. Look at everybody's yard. Everybody will have the same house, same yard size. But just look at who wants to take care of theirs and who does. The house up there on the left corner where that gold car's at. Which I did the other one behind it. Then you got, you know, like these are nice. These guys take care of the yard. Then you got one that's just all boarded up.
If anybody knows anything about policies and acts imposed, it's the Native American. Our culture has been through a change with less than 150 years. The first thing they wanted to do was give us names. Smith, Jones. No, I will chase after the big one. I will chase after that big buffalo. Tanka is huge. Wakua means I will pursue the big one. That is my Lakota name. And so they came and officers tell their company to secure squad of soldiers. You keep heard over there? Sir, that's not our orders. Alva, those orders. I gave you an order. You get out there, you kill that buffalo. And so they went and they started to slaughter, killed, mercilessly killing millions and millions and millions of buffalo.
I want you to imagine a foreign military force systematically trying to destroy your food supply, burning down your grocery stores, murdering all of our livestock, knowing if they would make us control if we are starving. Well, look to the Lakota tribe. You see, the plains were once home to an estimated 60 million buffalo. And for context today, we feed a country of a massive population on just 27 million cows. To the Lakota Sioux, the buffalo was everything. Their food, dependence of the tribes, the U.S. military encouraged the mass extinction of the buffalo, and by 1889, the massacre was so great that the buffalo was almost extinct. This story is key to understanding what the Lakota people have been up to.
Are finding that they're coming back, just as we are. My grandfather always reminded me, I am Lakota. And if they punish you in the boarding school, each and every time I speak to you in Lakota, you will speak back to me in Lakota. So I was able to retain this history. Sadly today we must do it in classrooms, but to experience it, you've got to
be Lakota to you.
Sense of responsibility. I went to the local BIA boarding school in 1960. We were pretty much raised without, in that sense, emotional. It was a real cold environment. I also remember there was a young boy there. His name was Douglas. One
thing about Douglas was he spoke hand spanked because he spoke Lakota. She would have Douglas lay under her desk and she would kick off her high heels and then she would put her feet on Douglas's back. We waste so much time. If we forgave, then I think we could enjoy, what life we have. If we teach our children strength in their thinking, then they can resist.
You are about to see one of the wildest apartment complexes I've ever seen in my life. But first, give me... Folks, let me ask you this. If you're doing interviews on public streets, people coming up, cars are passing by, would it not be a good idea to be aware of your surroundings? Because we know things can change at any time. So there's a reason that you when things are in America's largest injury law firm. With more than 100 offices and 1,000 lawyers nationwide, they are a formidable force in any courtroom in the country. Not all law firms are the same. Hire the wrong one, and you might be... For over 35 years, has built a reputation of fight for the people. And the best part is you don't pay unless they win your case. And to date, Morgan & Morgan has recovered over $30 billion for their clients, which shows they know a thing or two.
So I stayed with the family over here on the old side, so there's two sides to it. On the right side I'm gonna take you is the older part where the office is, and that's where I stayed, and that's actually, I've dead bodies in my lifetime on this just mission, and that was the first time I ever saw one. And our Isaac Larvey, and he just hung himself from the tree. And I remember we stayed a couple of doors down from him, and I was spending the night with one of his cousins or something, and I just remember people screaming, and he looked out the window and he's just hanging.
Easy thing for a 7 witness.
Yeah, I've through a lot. I feel like a lot of people look down on those of us who don't grow up necessarily always on the reservation or experiencing the poverty part of it, because I got adopted by a white lady. But I feel like at the end of the day, it is what we're all about. And if you actually are a warrior, that means being a warrior when you're off your reservation, when you're not around your people and you still hold your values. So this is Sunrise.
Holy shit, this place is rough. And this is about to get...
oh my gosh, this building, and it was a tree over here on this side. This is the old side where I grew up.
Who runs Sunrise?
You have GDs, Crips, Southside, and it's...
Good boy. Now sign this divorce paper. My daughter is remarrying someone who doesn't smell like dirt.
I spent all my savings on this spaceship. How could you treat me like this? I will build a powerful fleet and make all of you my servants.
So these little kids are gangbanging.
That's what they be saying.
I heard from Isaiah, who you just met earlier, when this was first built, this was the high-end shit. Everyone was pumped to be.
And slowly I would come back and I just, yeah. People who live here, I have an aunt who lives on the other side. I remember we used to let our my little cousins, we would obviously have to play at the playground. I play basketball over here. It really wasn't what's happening right now.
So you basically had the mix of two cultures. You got to grow up in a white area, you got to grow up here.
Yeah, and on both cultures, I really got hate once they found out. Everybody just so judgmental, which obviously means they're only judging themselves, which I think we should stop.
Tell me about life right now. Are you from Sunrise?
Yeah. Oh, no, but I'm mostly around here sometimes.
You're turning 18 tomorrow? Yeah. So it was new, and now look at it now.
It's been hard, People see the buildings get burnt down when they're abandoned, A lot of these apartments are abandoned. A lot of people don't live in them, and it's just...
I think got these buildings from brand new to beat to hell that quick.
Drugs and alcohol.
How's it going? It's nice to meet you, bro. How you doing, brother?
We're good, bro.
What's your name?
My name's Son Hart.
Nice to meet you. I'm just a little chump, but I did make it out here.
In Sunrise, bro. What the fuck? This nigga, of all places, you want to come to Sunrise, bro. Got shot at 12 gauge, bro. Bang.
That's how you lost your leg?
Yeah, that's how I lost my leg.
Holy.
Blasted with 12 gauge.
Have a good guys. I see built about 20 years ago, now is being condemned. What do you make of that situation?
Our people have lost responsibility. Those young ones came out of the boarding school. They didn't get to spend time at home with the grandparents, with their parents, and receive those teachings on how to raise children. They don't know how to talk to these children. They don't know how to guide them because everything was taken in the boarding schools. Not knowing how to take care of themselves or their homes.
Hello.
How are ya?
I'm fine.
For Facebook to keep people updated about all the wild stuff that happens at the Sunrise Apartments. In a span of about 3 weeks, she posted about a woman getting attacked by a bat, a gang fight, a woman getting shot, and a stabbing. Okay, so
I just see things happen out here. And when I see it, I post it, try to call the cops or, something get done, but nothing gets done. I lived here for 18 years and I just can't believe it gotten this bad.
How long ago was it new?
When I moved over here, this was back.
So what happened here?
Starting in these apartments when people would move out, and we had so much mismanagement here. Nobody would come and fix them up. And
who owns this place? So it seems like I'm happy on one end, they're not, but on the other end, they're dealing with a population that's kind of causing a lot of damage too.
Yeah, and we already went to all these apartments. They already stole all the copper, broke the walls down. Here's this. These are guys stealing a refrigerator out of here. But
how much can you make out of copper in a fridge, you think?
I don't know, but I found a bag of copper here about 2 years ago. I gave it to my son, so he took it to the recycling. He got 30 bucks out of that little bag. That was his fire. That got started by a firecracker.
This feels like a Grand Theft episode where like almost anything happened in a way.
This is what happened. They ran into this building before it burned down. Yeah.
Wait. Someone drove their car through this?
Yeah. No.
So is there much available housing right now?
No.
It's not that fair when they're trying to kick everybody out of here right away without giving them a place to go.
Yeah.
Just saying, you can't stay here, but figure it out on your own. Well, it's just like, what do you want them to do?
Yeah. They said there were 66 in here.
What does it cost to live here?
Well, I was paying $240 for rent, but as of January of this year, I quit paying rent.
How long have you lived here?
My mama moved us back since
New development to completely so quickly.
Under management. People I had that got kicked out of these houses that moved back into their houses to just have somewhere to live. Many of them were all related. This hood right here, all these communities on my tribe are all right here. We are all coming from Rosebud, Antelope, Spring Creek. I'm talking Palm Lee, Corn Creek. One form or another, Lakotas were all related in one form or another. Look what they do to us. You know how many broken apartments and people I helped go get water for while their fucking their lines were frozen? And they're like, Mama Kane, can you help? And I'm like, hell yeah, I'll be carrying jugs for them.
Folks, as of editing this video, we got news from locals at their apartments. Some are saying it's insurance fraud, others are saying it's tweakers. I don't know the full story, but what I do know is this is one of the wildest places I've ever seen.
Hey, Dad. Oh, stop playing.
Chicken energy. Crispy, juicy, mega chunks of white meat chicken, triple coated and seasoned to perfection. Now this is mega. Why dine out when the good stuff is in the freezer? Restaurant quality at a fraction of the price.
Tell me how you want it. 3, 2, 1, and I'm
Banquet Mega. Eat mega, spend less.
It's the icing on the cake.
No brush stroke.
The finishing touches make all the difference in your home, too.
Have fun and get started at carolhouse.com/room planner.
After this tour, I went to participate in a kids MMA class with Coach James, a Muay Thai and boxing practitioner, was going to be leading class.
So this is our new mega infrastructure that we're building. Hi,
hey kids, how are ya?
Oh, Coach James will be coming. He's a coach too.
How are you guys?
I'll have to
you ready to go today?
You'll sign her up today? Okay.
Tell us what we're looking at right now.
So this is, we're not open, we're just open for some. This is one of 3 buildings to be built. We'll have 3 to 5-year-olds downstairs in our administrative offices upstairs. Our third building that we are getting funding right here that will hold a movie. The lights right here, eventually you'll see big old teepee lights up in the sky. In the back over there, we have 10 acres, which will be an outdoor classroom. And it's gonna mimic the Black Hills. So if you get a chance to go through the Black Hills, we have a lot of sacred sites that are, and they will be built in that outdoor classroom. So they'll see Wind Cave, they'll see Devil's Tower, they'll see Black Elk Peak. We actually are going to build a 7-foot tunnel coming out of this building, and it's gonna make Wind Cave, and it'll pop, absolutely. The intention for all the buffalo robes is when the children are in here on, getting story time, they're actually filling the buffalo relatives here.
There you go. Okay, get some space, then when y'all two go follow suit. Perfect. Good. All right. Long time. Good job. Hey, don't leave me hanging. All right, next one. Okay, nice and easy. Okay, from right here, we're going side step. Stretch it out, twice shuffle.
How long have you been doing this for?
Well, I've been teaching off and on, but I used to teach pro and amateur fighters a couple years ago. I used to have a gym downstairs in the Boys and Girls Club. All right, so we got a special PG right here, all right? So he's gonna jump in with the workout, okay, if he feels comfortable, okay?
I heard you train in Thailand?
Yep.
So you're a Muay Thai guy?
Yep, I'm mostly stand-up.
Muay Thai guys are tough as hell.
Yeah. So I did a couple of smoker fights there, and then I started with Phuket Top Team, and they're not there. That's where I first started at. Spent there like 2 years. It was an experience, man.
So what motivated you to come here and do that?
Oh, here? Because they had nothing going like this year, and I could see a lot of things. If this is around, if we had like a match, man, it was a great turnout, man. In classes, had women's kickboxing, because there's not a lot of stuff here for the women also, you know. I mean, all the gyms like, at the DPP, people go there, but there's not like a boxing or Muay Thai, like a gym where they can go in there and punch the bag. You know?
Big opportunity here. We are launching a GoFundMe to fully fit the Rosebud Reservation with an MMA gym for kids and young adults. And there's perhaps no better sport to have kids be disciplined, full of self-confidence, on the straight and narrow, for floor mats, wall mats, equipment, all sorts of things that have a fully certified gym on the reservation. I'm putting down $2 grand of my own money. The link is in the description. Every dollar goes straight to helping the kids, and the money goes straight to James so he can use it. His link's in the description. Highly encourage you to donate, and I appreciate you. And now back to the video.
Before we do anything, we always start with a prayer. So, for everybody, thank you for Tommy and his crew coming down and giving light to what we're going through here on Rosebud. I ask for health and protection for everybody here. Watch over Tommy and his crew as they go and spend the rest of their time here in CA Tukashla, and we'll be
We're already on a good streak with food here. The food truck was good. We have buffalo stew, which I'm gonna guess most people watching this have never tried buffalo stew. That's a nice broth. The Lakota were forced onto a reservation and cut off from their food supply. They then had to survive off of minimal government rations of flour, lard, and salt. Out of this was born a struggle to love and eat today. That you see me eating right here, and it's a new food that I recommend you try. So I'm really wrestling with some of the things I'm seeing on the res right now. On one end, I feel very encouraged by the people leading the charge, leading MMA, doing the construction, people I'm celebrating, and I'm very glad that we're covering. But I want to address the severe neglect that we see so many of these kids living through. I mean, you see teenagers trapping out of bandos. Where are the parents? You see kids dropping out of school. And if you think I'm being harsh, think about how you would look at your own spouse or your own brother if they were in this situation. There's a certain aspect of, with these people, historical horror that they've had to suffer through. And I'll never fully understand that.
Your job doesn't stop. Neither do we. More than 1 million products, every industry.
I do for years, which is a sweat lodge experience on a reservation. And the guy that we're staying at a hunting lodge nearby, and he's native, and he said, they try and get you so hot that you start hallucinating. And I'm in saunas, cutting wood like that. I've never been that hot that I've hallucinated, so I'm actually a little bit nervous for this experience. But I don't know, when I'm an old man and I've lived my life, like this is one of those things I'm gonna.
Yeah, we heat the rocks up and then we take them in. But so the first 7, so we can bring up the chair. Yeah, so you'll heat up the first 7, take them in, the first 7 individually, then after that's when you'll take in the rest of them. So in culture, there's the 4 directions. There's multiple songs that come along with these ceremonies. There's a sweat lodge, and then there's a sun dance. But the sun dance, you can't record that, can't record any of that. But as soon as we load the pipe and everything, then that's the camera's gonna have to go off. But right now, you know, we're fine with how we are.
And you're a police officer?
Yep.
How's that going?
It's good, you know, especially so in my line of work, you know, this is kind of like where I go to, like, you know, I see a lot of deaths, a lot of certain things, and this is more so to help like cleanse and purify and, you know, get rid of whatever negative, you know, it could be negative energy, or, you know, sometimes things follow people home. You know, people, you know, deal with things in a certain way, but this is my way of dealing with things.
What area do you patrol?
The whole res.
Okay.
Yeah, the whole res.
So from Sunrise, or the Mission, to Rosebud, to Parmalee.
To Norris.
Which would you say is the roughest patch of the res? Because we just were at Sunrise recently today.
Yeah, I'd say that area. That area is pretty tough.
Just the way the sun setting and the color of the sky, doesn't it feel like this is the perfect night for what we're doing?
Yeah, it is.
We're about to get started here. Cameras cannot go during the sweat lodge, but I'll tell you about the experience afterwards, and I'll see you guys in just a little bit.
That's what this all pertains to. The fire, the water, everything in here is connected to me, to you, everybody else in here. That's what this is all connected to. Sometimes they'll say, you know, oh, we're gonna burn you out, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, but this right here is for you to pray. Kind of find that balance within yourself.
Quickly in here, shit got real. When the flap closed, the lodge became pitch black. And when my guy Hammer poured water on the lava stones, a ferocious wave of steam blasted us all inside. And I'm not panicked, and I considered army crawling the door to get out, but just then, the scene started.
The spiritual, profound reenactment of Genesis. And who is there waiting for you? The Buffalo Nation that gave of itself. The Buffalo Skull is there.
A couple hours transpired, and in there, you have to realize that it gets pitch black in there. And then the steam hits, and my first instinct was to try and escape almost. Like, it was like, oh, no. And then there's times of break where you're kind of just hoping the air leaks in, and then people are giving thanks, and they're saying very kind things and profound things about each other. For people that have this in their backyard, get tuned up, man. Let's go through. And I think anything that can bring you back to your root is a good thing to do. Feeling very at ease and at peace, and feeling good under the skies right now. So I think the night's gonna close for you in the morning. You're gonna want to see. We're about to meet up with a woman-led search and rescue team who has received new leads and information on where Savannah Standing Bear could be, and so where it all goes. She's been missing for how long?
Since March of last year. I think it was the 25th was the last time she was seen. So a little over a year, almost a year and a half.
And what kind of leads do we have so far?
As of right now, not a lot. We go off of tips from the community. Some people reach out and give us little bits of information. We work closely with law enforcement, but as of right now, we don't really have a lot of information. Over our data from our previous searches, and we look at holes that maybe we missed or whatever, and we try to cover as much area as we can that way.
MMIW, or Murdered or Missing Indigenous Women, is a violent epidemic happening at Indian reservations across the country. In fact, Native women face some of the highest rates of sexual violence, abuse, and disappearance of any group in America. Today, we are joining a female-led volunteer search and rescue team to look for Savannah Standing Bear, a Parmalee Rosebud resident who went missing.
Yeah. But at this moment, are we looking for a body?
Of course, you know, because we look at probabilities at this point. So she's been missing for over a year. So at some point, it turns into a recovery versus rescue. I just want to pray to you that the search is in Savannah. We're looking for Savannah, and I pray that you protect us and keep us safe and keep us from injury. The earth tells us or sends us messages, the animals, the trees. I pray that you're with us. Heavenly Father, thank you.
But I don't want the needles to be too big. What do you? Kind of baggy.
That changed everybody here to go out and look for her.
I just know that I've met her family. I've met her father, her mother, her sister, and some of her. Every day that they're hurting because she's not here.
I hope there's some closure.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you guys for coming. I hope it was informative. I know it was short, and there's just a lot that goes into it to expand for the next 5 years. A lot of goals.
Keep chipping away. That's all we can ever do.
Absolutely.
Take care.
All right, guys.
If anyone watching this has information that can help solve the case of Savannah Standing Bear, please hit my email so I can get in contact, correct people on the Rosebud Reservation. Thank you.
Made these. Look, this one has your name on it.
Thank you so much.
And then these ones are for like.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Tell me about it.
So we're doing a Lakota traditional art class and some ribbon skirts.
We appreciate you making these. What is this made out of?
It's rawhide, and then this is
These are like bones.
Yeah, bones.
Plastic bones. Traditionally, they used to be like out of real bones. But now we just use plastic.
Nice. Well, thank you.
Hey, this is for my brother Tigo, and there's a $10,000 reward to anyone who knows something about it.
That's one of the murders that's really shook the rise recently, huh?
Yeah.
It was one of the big.
He was the last person to die by gun violence and stuff.
I see that there's going to be orders to demolish Sunrise.
I heard.
What do you think about that?
I think it's a bunch of bullshit. We get all these empty homes. Then we have a housing shortage. We have overcrowdedness. We have homeless. And this is just, instead of coming and fixing it, letting them get burnt down. So we did. There's even squatters. My grandson murdered around the corner.
Are you Ty Valandra's grandma?
I'm one of his grandmothers.
Do you think they'll find who killed Ty?
They know who did. It's just a matter of time.
What can you tell us about Ty?
I was in high school, graduated, and then I have 4 grandsons. 2 of them graduated with him. He's an all-around good kid, man. So sent the granddaughter this morning that they found in Rosebud suicide by hanging herself. And so, like, wow. Life on the res is what we make of it.
There's not a bad child. There's one that just hasn't been reached. You've got to reach out, whatever it takes to reach that child. We're here, and we're still here. And they told us we're always going to be here. Humanly, spiritually, we're going to be here.
Us on this Rosebud Reservation episode. I think reservations are these incredibly undercovered places in the country with so many stories to tell. And I'm looking to go back to Pine Ridge. I'm looking to go back to Rosebud. I want to go to Standing Rock. I want to go to the Navajo. Email me at TommyGMcGee123@gmail.com or hit me, tell your story, your community story, and do another episode on a reservation. Thank you, folks. We'll see you next week.
PetSmart's app helps you find the perfect pet care. We also have Store, where
Don't say we ain't old shit. Ain't that a bitch? I challenge you to prove us wrong. My ancestors' bones are buried deep in American dirt. The deeper you dig, the longer the timeline gets. I continue to speak through song, but I will not forget to speak through actions. I'm not a believer. Before I choose to know, I know where I stand. I know where I'm from and I know where I'm headed. I implore you to know thyself. Cause when you find yourself, you find God. Remember that, remember that, remember that, remember that. Reparations, it'll never be in the mail. Restitution, just another tall tale. Restoration of a kingdom, rebuild the throne. Redemption's the seed we've been sowing on our own. Whistles blow, steel mills moan. Blood in the cotton, ghosts of the past still alert. Not forgotten, chains on the mind plus chains on the wallet. 40 acres, you mean a nation, they just stalling. Roots run deep where the magnolias lean. Dirt rich soil, but the soul ain't clean. Every lie denies the birthright of the bloodline. Payback overdue, you running out. Reparations, it'll never be in the mail. Restitution, just another tall tale. Restoration of a kingdom, rebuild the throne. Redemption's the seed we've been sowing on our own. Grandmother prayed by the riverside weeping. Sins of their forefathers in the ground still creeping. Fried chicken grease on the stove still popping. Dreams fried crispy, hard truths ain't stopping. Jim Crow shadows still cast long low. Swamp water whisper secrets only we know. Told us to pull up from the booth that we style. How you fix a scorched field with a seam? Reparations, it'll never be in the mail. Restitution, just another tall tale. Restoration of a kingdom, rebuild the throne. Redemption's the seed we've been sowing on our own. Plenty receipts for the pain they inflicted. Plenty receipts for the culture restricted. Took the rhythm, left us the blues, but the rhythm came back, now it's breaking loose. From Delta Dirt to Cahokia streets, we the bricks in the road, we the drumline beats. Copper colored uprising, hands reach for the ground. American justice, aboriginals come around. It'll never be in the mail. Restitution, just another tall tale. Restoration of a kingdom, rebuild the throne. Redemption's the seed we've been sowing on our own. We've been sowing on our own. We've been sowing on our own. Yeah. Far as I'm concerned, all you immigrants and tethers can get the fuck out. Whether you got here in the 1400s or 2026, time to bang on them all. No excuses, I'm fed up. Bust your head open past the white meat. Crack your cranium, expose your thoughts. Fuck it, take the head off. Packing plenty heat, hearts turn Antarctica. Cold when the night breathe, I seen the fake smiles. You see through, liar. I seen the dead zone, I don't believe you, liar. Same mouths preach peace is beneath you. Then they feed on the copper tone, but it doesn't fit you. Paris bomb, weed, smoke signals curling off this page. Nigga, they wanna save lie, I want true feudal rage. Nigga, they callin' Tartaria like it's myth and dust. Shame, nigga, I read the stone cracks, I don't trust the trust. Lame, nigga, don't know shit past the school and they fed you. You oughta be fed up, yeah, you know I said what. Shut the fuck. Eyes open, no sleep, too much on the line. They lock up the question and they sell you the line. Enough of the fuck shit, too much rusted steel. I want raw truth to protect the truth. You should be willing to kill. Fed up, we oughta be fed up. Fed up, we oughta be fed up. Say it to my face, bitch. Don't dress it in a story. Fed up, we oughta be. They built little boxes, I'm calling out you hoes. Diabolical mindset, your creation made us foes. Taught us what to fear as if you would never know. Why they hit the sunset, but I still feel its glow. Every lecture sterile, I don't bow to the filter. Nope. Every lesson chained, I don't vote for this show. Every truth got a price. I seen hunger in the hallway and a borrowed name. Stolen legacy. Where the petty words go, from the gutter to the paper, it's the same damn fight. Keep your hands on the wheel, keep your head on right. If the map got burned and I trace my own, if the gate stays shut, is a padded up cage. What they call safe is a script on the stage. We don't need permission, what the fuck is a chain? We been fed the poison, now we spit back pain. Eyes open, no sleep, too much on the line. They lock up the question and they sell you the line. Enough of the fuck shit, too much rusted steel. I want raw truth to protect the truth. You should be willing to kill. Fed up, we oughta be fed up. Fed up, we oughta be set up.
To my face, bitch.
Don't dress it in a story.
Fed up,
we oughta be fed up.
No excuses, I'm fed up. And I mean that plain. No more sweet lies. No more smoking chain.
Bang, bang, motherfucker, fucker. Bang, bang, motherfucker, fucker.
Yeah, yeah. Bizzo with a no chain. 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 Bizzo with a no chain.
You look easy when it's smooth. When the room says yes to you. When the road stays wide and clear. When the praise is all you hear. But I know what made you bend. Not the calm, but who you in. When the wind came through the door. When you had to be something more. Show me where you stand. When the ground won't hold your hand. Show me what you keep. When the night runs deep, what truly defines you is where you are. When trouble hits hard. When trouble hits hard. What truly defines you is where you are. When facts get twisted and you still play your part. Not the smile on a perfect day. Not the easy road you take. It's the choice when sparks fly hard. It's the line you guard. When the room gets loud and mean. When the crowd won't play you clean. Do you fold or hold your ground? Do you stay or drift around? Show me where you stand. When the ground won't hold your hand. Show me what you keep. When the night runs deep, what truly defines you is where you are. When trouble hits hard. When trouble hits hard. What truly defines you is where you are. When facts get twisted and you still play your part. So let it shake, let it touch your name. Let the hard days burn if they wake your flame. No easy crown, no borrowed light. Just a steady heart in the hardest fight. The real test of you is how you hold up when things go sideways. When things go sideways. The real test of you is how you hold up when facts start clogging up and you still keep your place. The real test of you is how you hold up. The real test of you is how you hold up.
Feeling fabulous, bare feet on the grass. Copper on my shoulders, let the good hour pass. I take it slow, let the day unwind. Checking the vision, keeping my mind aligned. Hold it up, let me see it clear. Turn it back, I got the right one near. Checking the vision, feeling factish, yeah, yeah, I'm that kind. I'm feeling factish, yeah, I am that guy. I'm feeling factish, picture perfect middle light. Yeah, cold drink sweating on a paper plate. Laugh in the backyard, I'm never running late. I know that glow when it lands on me. Every little second feels like luxury. Hold it up, let me see it clear. Turn it back, I got the right one there. Checking the vision, hit the rewind, hit the rewind, hit the rewind. Checking the vision, I like what I find. I'm feeling factish, under the sky. I'm feeling factish, yeah, yeah, I'm that kind. I'm feeling factish, yeah, I am that guy. I'm feeling factish, picture perfect middle light. Blurry, I don't lose my place. One more look, one more look, one more look, and I'm increasing the pace. Checking the shit, hit the rewind, hit the rewind, hit the rewind. Checking the vision, I like what I find. I'm feeling factish, under the sky. I'm feeling factish, yeah, yeah, I'm that kind.